What is going on, guys? Today we're in sunny Dubai. I'm currently sat at my brother's desk, and as you might tell by the title, we are making ad creatives for Icon Amsterdam today. I've got a lovely t-shirt on, super high quality from them, and there's a lovely pair of shoes here. Me and my brother have been sent full outfits because we're recording some ad creatives, as you might tell from the title, and we're going to be recording street interviews, we're going to be recording ad creatives, and today I'm going to be giving you my best tips for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. As you know, this is a very important time of year for a lot of brands. Our ads spend around $3 million a month on most months, and over Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that will look at double and tripling for our brands. So spending up to $6 million, up to $10 million in a single month. And today I'm going to be giving you my best tips for Black Friday, and I'm going to be making it super simple. So a lot of channels and a lot of people will be giving you tons and tons of advice that you won't actually implement. So today I'm just going to give you some simple steps that I've seen over the past couple of years that when brands follow this, they get the best results for Black Friday and beat their records. Now, Icon Amsterdam are going to be aiming for $1 million a day in revenue this Q4, this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I'm very confident that they're going to hit it. So I'm going to give you some advice. I'm also going to be talking to my brother who runs our creative team for over 30 to 40 different clients, and he's going to give you tips on how that he can run a creative team over 40 brands at once. So tips for running a team. So if you are running a team, if you're making ad creatives, if you're trying to get better results on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I think you'll find this video super valuable. So I'm going to give you my tips as a strategist, as someone who's in the ad creative space learning every single day. My brother's also going to give you some tips on how you can run a creative team, how you can operate this team to be able to scale to 1,000, 2,000 ads every single month. So let's get straight into it, and I hope you find this valuable. So instead of just giving you loads and loads of different tips and advice that you might not properly implement, you'll just watch this and you won't actually go ahead and implement it into your brand and into your creatives. I'm just going to really focus on the highest leverage things that if you actually implement, it's going to mean that you get better results in Q4 for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So the first one is going to be, don't just focus on Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads. So last year and the year before, we're seeing Evergreen ads perform better than the Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads. So for example, let's say you make some ads that are focused on your new offer, your 50% off, buy one, get one free, that is specially for Black Friday. We've actually seen the ads that are in the ad account anyway perform better. So that'd be my advice. Don't focus entirely on Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads. Everyone's going to be screaming they've got this offer, their crazy Black Friday sale. So it's definitely important that you make Black Friday ads. However, I would still split it with evergreen style ads. So they're focused on your benefits, that are on your winning angles, that are with your main creator demographic. Your main winning ads, I would still focus on them. However, definitely make some Black Friday ads, but just don't put all the focus on them. Now that brings me on to my second point. So usually for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we make a new campaign in the ad account. So our media buyer will make a new campaign. That just means because we'll obviously have different messaging in the ads, and we'll have, in terms of the actual primary text and the ad copy within Meta, we'll have different messaging on there than our usual campaigns. We'll still run our usual campaigns, and we'll just take our winning ads and put them into our Black Friday campaigns. Now, we might add different hooks on, different variations. We'll still add the winning ads. We'll also add different variations with banners. So literally add stickers on the ads, add banners across the top. I'll put a link in the description if you want some of our Black Friday Canva stickers and banners that you can use for your winning ads. Go ahead and use those. I gave them away last year and everyone's found them super valuable. So go ahead and click the link in the description if you want those ads. And that's what our clients use. And we put that over the top of our winning ads. And it basically means that we can make our winning ads a little bit more tailored to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So that'd be the main two pieces of advice. So make sure that you're making Black Friday ads, but not everything is focused on them. You still want to be making normal ads as well and putting them into the ad account. The second one would be make sure that you repurpose winning ads into a new Black Friday, Cyber Monday with new specific copy in the ad text and the primary text and the description, etc. Focused to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just because everyone's going to be screaming that they've got this big offer and it's the best offer ever, and you need to be screaming as well. To be honest, there's not much you can do, with your USPs and with all the different benefits that you have as a brand. It's very important that you just scream as well, because you want to be standing out in the crowd on Black Friday. So Monday, you need to be giving something, some kind of offer and discount. So yeah, making sure that you've got your ad copy down to a T with Black Friday in a new campaign, and ensuring that the existing campaign is still running. Now, my third tip kind of follows on from that one. And obviously Black Friday is a very important time. And as a brand owner and an agency owner, and if you're making ad creatives on Meta, better and you're running a team, it can be very easy to overcomplicate everything. So you have a complicated offer, your landing page is difficult to navigate, to actually use the offer is difficult, and you make the process harder on Black Friday and offer more complicated on Black Friday, which actually leads to more friction in the checkout process, and people find it difficult to buy. Now, I've seen this happen many times. A brand doing really, really well in the rest of the year, and it comes to Black Friday, the most important time for their brand, and they mess it up because the offer's too complicated, the landing page is too complicated. So I'd really recommend just making sure that you make the process as streamlined as possible. So a simple but effective offer, an easy checkout process, and have backups in place for over the weekend. If things don't work, you can kind of swap them in. So it depends on what kind of scale you're at, but if Black Friday is going to be huge for you and you're going to be scaling the budgets on that day based on performance, and having backup offers, having some split tests going on will definitely be effective for you. You can scale what works. If things aren't working, you can swap them in. We've noticed this with all of our biggest brands, that they have backup offers on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I definitely recommend that for you going into this quarter. So that's it. I don't want to give you too much advice. You know, we see the ups and downs of many different brands. I don't want to give you advice that you won't go ahead and implement. So those would be my main tips. I think if you can implement those, very simple, get the foundations right, the basics right, and the rest will look after itself on Black Friday. Yo guys, so I've managed to convince my brother to come on the channel. So he manages our team and our clients. We have around 30 to 40 different clients at any time, and we're making thousands of ads, probably 1, 2, potentially even 3,000 ads every single month, from UGC to podcast ads to static ads, street interviews, honestly, many different styles. So I'm going to be asking him some questions for you guys. If you're running an ad creative team, if you're trying to make ad creative for yourself and you're trying to get more leverage, then I'm going to ask you some questions that are going to help you out, especially for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And I'm going to ask some questions that is going to make your life easier when it comes to running a team. So welcome to the channel, special guest.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's all good. Now, apologies if the camera's a little bit wonky, but I'm trying my best. So the first question I want to ask you, first of all, you can introduce yourself, but after that, let us know how you can actually manage so many different team members at once, going in so many different directions, making different ad creatives, and still actually get results.
Yeah, so thanks for the intro, mate. I'm Ryan, as Adam said, and I'm the co-founder at Media Engineered. So yeah, the way that we've separated it is that we've got Adam running the sales and marketing side, and then me on the fulfillment side. So what that looks like for me is, obviously, I've got the full fulfillment team. I don't try and do any of this myself. And yeah, the way that we manage this is, it comes a lot down to trust to the team. Obviously, when you're first a founder at an agency, you can do a lot of things yourself. You're learning the creative strategy yourself. You're helping the brand scale yourself. You're even writing scripts yourself. But as you grow, obviously, that's got to change, and you have to start to trust your team. And the first and probably the biggest part of this is learning how to hire good people that you can trust inside the agency. So, and it's difficult for people like us, right, who want to have full control. But yeah, getting those people that you can trust is a real big help. And people that have worked in agencies or for big brands in the past is a massive part of that. So yeah, first of all, getting people you can trust. The setup that we have at the agency is pod structure, as many agencies do. We're not recreating the wheel here, but we have a pod structure that consists of creative strategists, video editors, creator coordinators, and account managers. And these are the guys that we trust to do the job. Now, obviously, me and Adam are largely involved in the strategy as well, because we care a lot about our client result. But being able to have these guys as the main drivers of this success is really what makes it work at scale.
The key point there is hiring good teams so you can actually trust them. So something we found is, obviously, when you first start out in business, whether it's e-com, whether it's agency, you look for the cheapest naturally. But as time has gone on, we try and pay as much as possible. And we've really found you can't overpay for good talent, because every time we pay more, we get more time back. So we can pay more and we can leave them to go ahead and do their job. We don't have to micromanage, and they can do the job better than us. As a founder, it can be very naive of us to think that we're the best at the job when we're the best at creative strategy and managing the teams. But if you hire someone who's actually better than you, it'll change your whole perspective on that. So yeah, definitely agree on that first one, kind of hiring good team.
And that's a change that we've seen over the years. Like you start off hiring people that you have to put a lot of time into training and teaching. As you progress and you're hiring better and better people, you start learning things from them. which is really important because they've got experience out in the field, and that's something that's a really nice change as your agency.
Yeah, 100%. When you first get someone who teaches you something new, when you hire someone and they teach something new, it'll change your whole perspective rather than hiring people. So yeah, that's the first one, hiring good people, which sounds very simple, but I know a lot of agency owners, business owners will cut corners when it comes to hiring. Now, the second question I have for you, obviously we have a lot of moving parts. We have a lot of different ad creative styles that we're making. We have a lot of different clients. How do you manage to actually make better ads each month? So how do you learn from last round's ads when you have so many different moving parts, you have so many different ad creatives, so many different styles of ads? What's the main thing that you focus on to make sure that each time you're making new ads, it's actually getting better rather than just starting from scratch and doing the same thing over and over again and hoping something changes?
Yeah, I think the first part is you need to keep things really simple. So you see a lot of agencies and a lot of brands creating these really complex setups that are really beautiful to see, but really difficult to navigate. Ultimately, what we want to be able to do is at a glance be able to see the impact that ads have had. So this doesn't look like 10-page deep or 20-page deep Notion or ClickUp setup. It's a page where you can literally see these are the ads that we've made, this is the performance. And the first point is making it really simple so you can see the data. Once you can see the data, then you can start to think about what that data means. And secondly, the data you collect and how you use that. So again, we're not reinventing the wheel here. It's fairly well known that iterations are often the best way to help scale. Now with the new Andrometer updates, the iterations do have to be slightly bigger swings, but even still, we're keeping the same messaging, we're keeping the same angles that we know resonate with that brand's particular audience. So yeah, the way that we do this is we track every ad that's ever launched, simple Google sheet, and we have the key metrics that we want to track to see whether it's working or whether it's not, and then further key metrics to see why it's working and why it's not. And these key metrics broken down really simply into how much it costs you to show your ad to people, how often people click that ad, and then if people convert, and then once they convert, how much do they spend? So CPMs, click-through rates that combine to get cost per click, your conversion rate, and then your average order value are the key soft metrics for us to understand why the ad's performing or why it's not performing, so you can identify the bottleneck. And what we do with that information is, first of all, see, okay, is the ad working? Has it got a CPA that's below what we're targeting? Is it acquiring spend if it's in a CBO? And from then we want to know why. So is the bottleneck clicks? Is the bottleneck purchases? And from there we can diagnose what the issue with the ad is. Is it the messaging? Are we not hitting the right pace? Are we editing too slowly for the target audience? Etc, etc. So it's all about understanding what the problem is before you try and fix it. So yeah, heavy on the understanding of the problem and then coming up with ideas to try and fix it. And then alongside that, obviously we want to start trying new ideas. So we're also heavy on testing new ideas because we don't know if we haven't tested them whether they're going to perform or not. So for this, we identify new personas, new angles, and new ways of getting that across in different formats. So is it a podcast ad? Are we trying street interviews? Are we hitting statics? And are we really building that full diverse account of ads that's going to work for your business?
So we've discussed hiring good teams so you can trust them to do their thing, finding what the bottleneck is inside your ad account, then making changes and implementations based on that, and then persona building, full funnel creative strategy. My final question is about over the past couple of years with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is there any advice that you have for brand owners, whether they're doing 30k a month or 7 figures a month, that you think they can implement to have a more profitable Q4 Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year?
Yeah, for sure. So I know Adam's already touched on what the ad creatives need to look like, and a lot of the Evergreen ads are working throughout Black Friday, Cyber Monday as well. So to touch on something slightly different, try and maintain your AOV. And this is super important. So it's very tempting as a brand to see all these other brands around you that are offering 60, 70, even 80% off sometimes. But if you really think about it, what we're after here is making profit. If we're cutting our prices by so much now, maybe people will, if you offer 60% off, they'll buy 2 or 3, but it's a maybe. If we can keep AOV the same, so it becomes a bundle offer where people pay the full price for one item, but then if they buy another, they get a large percent off that second part. And if they buy a third, they get an even larger percent off. Then that's going going to maintain your AOV. And if we can even grow that, those are the biggest success stories that I've heard from Black Friday deals. And yeah, it can become tempting to reduce the price as much as possible to try and get as much revenue. But ultimately, if all of that revenue is sold at a lower profit than what you make on a normal day, then is that really the goal? And I would argue probably not. So my biggest point would be for Black Friday, try and keep your AOV at the level it is typically, whether that's by getting people to buy more products or whether it's by making your discounts smaller but doing bundle deals. That would be my recommendation, to try and keep profits there even when volume's higher.
Awesome. Yeah, because I spoke to a brand owner earlier this month, I think it was last week. They did $5 million in revenue in November, but last year, and it was less profitable than the month before when they did around 2 million or 2.5 million, which is pretty crazy. So revenue can be vanity, especially when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So 100% make sure your profit margins stay high, your AOV is high, so you can have a profitable one. So yeah, appreciate all the source. Hopefully see you on the channel again soon. Yeah, get me on. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Good to chat. What's going on, guys? I hope you got some value from this video going through our Black Friday, Cyber Monday tips that we've found successful over the past few years. Now, if you're looking for creatives for your brand, we are only taking on a few more partners. Click the link in the description. We'll have a conversation and see if this is a good fit, whether we think we can get results. Either way, we'll give you some guidance on the best next steps for you to take for your brand to scale and get better results going into Q4. So I appreciate this, and I'll catch you in the next one.